Hey guys, I am Zach, and this is my August TBR. So, I have a really ambitious pile of books here, and there are like three other ebooks that I have that I want to read this month. Well, some that I kind of need to read this month. So, let's just kind of get into it. The first book I have, I'm already 85 pages in, and that is The Dire King by William Ritter. This is the fourth and final book in the Jacoby series, which I've heard it be referred to as Sherlock meets Doctor Who, though I can only really comment on the Sherlock part, and it does have a very Sherlockian influence to it, with this sort of paranormal and folklore, mythological aspect to it that I just love. I'm loving this book so far. Again, I'm 85 pages in. Hopefully I can finish it today, but I'm also filming this and my July book haul today, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get around to it after editing and everything, so yeah. Next, what I wanted to do, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get around to finishing this month, but I do want to at least start it. There are some books on my bookshelf that I like to refer to as my bucket list books. These are the books that terrify the living daylights out of me, and I don't know if I'm ever going to get around to reading, but I really want to. And so from now until the end of the year, every month, I want to try and tackle one of these books. So this month, I'm going to go for A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. This is my beautiful illustrated edition, which you'll see in tomorrow's book haul, but I want to read this so bad. Also, my brother wants to read it, and he doesn't want to read anything, so I'm going to try to get this done fairly soon so that I can let him borrow it. So, yes, this is my beautiful illustrated edition, and I love it. The next book that I want to read this month is a reread for me. It is a series that I'm trying to make my way through again because the fourth book and start of a new trilogy in this series is coming out, and that is A School for Good and Evil, A World Without Princes. This is the second book in the first trilogy in this world, and the fourth book is coming out soon, so this month I want to try and get through A World Without Princes. I think this is shorter than the first books, and I finished that in a day, so I should be able to just quickly get through this, but yeah, I can't wait to reread this. Next, I'm going to get to some of the books that I kind of need to read this month. Some are just like review copies that I got off Edelweiss or Penguin First to Read, or I got from the publisher and told them that I would review in August, and so the first one is Before She Ignites by Jodi Meadows. This is the first book in, I believe, a fantasy trilogy. And I don't know much about it other than that there are all of these islands that have this treaty, and there's this girl that personifies this peace, and there are before chapters and there are after chapters, and in the after chapters she's been locked up for some reason, and that's literally all I know about that. Oh, and there are dragons, which is always a good thing. So I'm really looking forward to this book and seeing how this story sort of develops. The next book I have is Nixia, and this is the first book in the Nixia triad. So I'm guessing it's a trilogy. And literally all I know about this book is that it's about this down on his luck kid who is offered a chance to go to this newly discovered planet and harvest this new material that's starting to become the rarest substance in the universe, and is selling for a really high amount of money, and that's literally all I know about it. But I got this from Penguin's First to Read program, and I've been really wanting to get more into sci-fi books, so I am so looking forward to this book. And also the cover is beautiful. The third ebook that I have that I want to read this month is Cinderella Necromancer I don't know the author of this book. Granted, I didn't know the author of Nixie, and I just kind of breezed past that. But you'll see in the cover, and I literally don't know anything about this book other than the title and the fact that it was inspired by like a real 15th century grimoire, I think. So, yeah. So one of the first books that I want to read after The Dire King is Stolen Secrets by L.B. Schulman. This is the second book this author has written, and I also believe it's a standalone. It's about a girl who discovers that her grandmother that she thinks is long dead is actually alive and living with Alzheimer's. And she finds some like journals that seem to date back to the Holocaust and possibly point to a connection between her grandmother and Anne Frank. I don't know anything else more than that. And the first book that this author wrote, League of Strays, was fantastic, so I am really looking forward to this book. Another book that I meant to read back in June was The Intuitives by Erin Michelle Skye and Stephen Brown. I tried reading this in early August, but my headspace just wasn't having it, so I didn't get very far. I didn't even get past the first like real chapter. So I'm gonna try and read this again, and hopefully this time I'll like it a bit better than the first time. Maybe my I think it's just a headspace thing. So I'm gonna try for this again, but yeah, I don't really know too much about this one either. They find the tomb of Alexander the Great, and then like 7 years later, all of these kids have to take this new test, and so 6 kids are chosen to attend this Institute for Intuitive Minds or something, and they need to figure out why they're there. That's really all I know about it, but hopefully I can get around to it this month. And since it's August, the last month that is technically considered summer, I wanted to get a road trip book read because I've never read a road trip book in the summer and I kind of want to. So for this I chose Stranger Than Fanfiction by Chris Colfer. This is, I believe, a standalone novel about a young TV star whose fans invite him on this road trip. Like 4 of his fans invite him on this road trip as a joke, but he actually shows up, and so they go on this road trip and discover things about life, love, and who they really are, and all that cheesy crap, but at the same time, I just want to know what they figure out, right? You want to know what they discover on this road trip, so I am actually pretty looking forward to this. I tried listening to the audiobook last month, but Chris Colfer does not read this audiobook very well, so I'm going to just try to read it myself sometime this month, hopefully. Then I want to also read the final book in the Land of Story series by Chris Colfer as well. Yeah, I hope this is the last book because I've been tricked quite a number of times. Like when the 3rd book came out, I met Chris Colfer at a book signing, and I asked him, is the 4th book the last book? And he's like, no, but the story that started in the 3rd book will be finished in the 4th book. So I'm like, okay, great. It wasn't finished in the 4th book, and then the 5th book was like, it's the last book. It obviously wasn't. So I'm hoping that this is going to be the last book, because it's not that I want to see this series end, it's just I've been prepared for it to end for 3 years now. So, yeah. And then, speaking of wanting to get more into sci-fi, I have Zodiac by Romina Russell. This is my arc that I got at BEA 2014 and never got around to reading. All I know about this is that there are these like clusters of planets that have different cultures that each align with one of the zodiac signs. So I'm hoping to get around to reading this sometime this month, but I'm going to try to get to some of the other stuff first, but this is definitely pretty high on my August list as well. And then I want to read The Library of Fates by Aditi Khurana. All I know about this is that it is standalone fantasy based off of Indian folklore, so I'm all for that. And then the next book that I don't have a physical copy of, but want to read are the Dorothy Must Die Stories, Volume 2. This includes the novellas Heart of Tin, The Straw King, and The King of Beasts, I believe, are the 3 novellas in here. And these are prequel novellas to Dorothy Must Die that kind of deal with Dorothy taking over Oz and the aftermath. And these obviously focus on the 3 friends Dorothy makes in the original Wizard of Oz. So I am reading all of that in preparation for Yellow Brick War by Danielle Page. This is the 3rd book in the Dorothy Must Die series, and I have to say I was feeling guilty because I am continuing this series, but it is produced by Full Fathom 5, which I don't want to support in any way, but at the same time I really want to read the series. But looking at this, I don't see a mark from Full Fathom 5 anywhere on this, and I looked hard to see if there was any mention of Full Fathom 5's involvement with this book specifically. And so I don't know if Full Fathom 5 realized their controversy and just pulled their marks off of their books so that their books will still sell, or if somebody bought Danielle Page out of her contract, or if she bought herself out of her contract. But yeah, does anybody know if this is still involved with Full Fathom 5 in any way? Because if it isn't, I can feel a lot less guilty for reading this series now. And so yeah, so if anybody knows, please let me know, because I really want to know. I haven't done a Google search yet, but I will probably do that after I'm done editing these videos. Now we're getting kind of the last 2, and these are 2 that I want to read in August. I don't know if I'm going to get around to them, but I'm not going to feel terrible if I don't. And the first one is The 1000th Floor by Catherine McGee. This is the first book in, I think it's just called the 1000th Floor series, and I believe it's a futuristic New York elite type of book, and it's about this dazzling skyscraper that has 1,000 floors, and it's about the people that live there, including the person that lives on the 1000th floor, and there are 5 points of view, but they all interconnect, and I just want to see what this is about. The second book is coming out this month, so it would be a good time to kind of get started on this series, I would think. And finally, I think this is the last book on my TBR, and I'm still I don't know if I'm ever going to get all of these books read, but the final one is the 3rd book in the Girl at Midnight series by Melissa Gray. This is The Savage Dawn. It's about a girl who was raised by this bird-like race called the Avacyn, and the Avacyn and the Dracarin, a dragon-like race, have been at war for ever. The only thing that can stop it, for good or bad, is the Firebird. And so in The Girl at Midnight, the first book in this series, Echo, our main character, goes in search of the Firebird, and along the way she bumps into the Dragon Prince, also searching for the Firebird, and they sort of join forces, and this series is honestly amazing. And I was supposed to review this in early July, but the review copy did not get to me before my blog tour stop, so I couldn't read it last month. So hopefully I can get to it sometime this month. And there you have it. Those are the books that I am hoping, possibly, maybe, I can get read in August. It is incredibly ambitious. I think I'm just still on a little bit of a high from the Booktubeathon, thinking that I can get through all of these books in 31 days. But yeah, oh my god. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please, if you liked it, give it a like. If you didn't, you can give it a thumbs down. That's fine. I'm totally okay with that. And if you want to subscribe, I do have a book haul coming up tomorrow. It's my July book haul. I'm also planning to do some mashup reviews in the near future, like just take 3 books and review them. So if you want to kind of stay updated on when and if I do that, then, you know, hit subscribe, click that notification bell. You know the drill by now. And today's comment question, I guess, will be, what books are you trying to read in August? What's your most anticipated book that you want to read in August? How about that? Yeah. So yeah, if you want, leave a comment down below with your most anticipated read. I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and as always, happy reading. Bye.